All right, what is up, my dudes? So the other day, I bought a copy of Monstrosity's Millennium album on CD. It was on Hell's Headbangers. It was a brand new press. I don't know if it was an import. I don't know what was going on with that. But I was just like, man, I never see this album around. Like it's just a hard one to come by. I've never seen it in stores, even used. I just don't see that record a lot. And then I was like, man, you know what? There's a lot of albums I don't see all the time, and I think about that pretty frequently. But like that just really like created a whole list in my mind of like albums I just want to see more of. I feel like need to be repressed, reprinted, just because the originals are hard to come by or whatever it is. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go through this list that I have written down here of albums I feel like desperately need to be reissued or reprinted or repressed. So yeah, here we go. Number one, I'm gonna be talking about Midian by Cradle of Filth, and I actually have the hoodie on today. Yeah, you can get that album on CD, brand new. Obviously there's a hoodie of this, but I had to get that from the freaking UK. But even on the US store, there's Midian puzzles, there's Midian T-shirts, everything but a fucking record. And I looked on the Discogs, and the last time there was an official vinyl release for that album was in 2011, and those go anywhere from like 200 to like $400. And it's like, okay, that's lame. And then they've only had 4 releases, and I'm sure they're all about that same price. So yeah, I'm hoping that like with the merch being put out for the MIDI and stuff, that's a sign of things to come. I don't know if it's like a record label thing. I don't know if it's as with most of these, it's like I don't know if it's a copyright thing, label thing, master's gone. I don't know. There's 1,000 reasons why they couldn't be repressed, but yeah, Midian I'd like to see, and then also Dusk and Her Embrace and just the older stuff. I know that there was that repressing of like the first 4 Cradle releases. I can't remember what it was, some European thing, but those were really expensive, and you had to ship them from overseas, at least from what I was seeing, and they were kind of hard to find. But I don't know. I mean, Cradle also has the Cradle to Enslave EP being repressed. That's like the thing they're doing right now. So I think Midian may be coming sooner than later, but still, it hasn't been on vinyl for a very long time, almost 15 years. So yeah, could use that. Moving on, this one's kind of a weird one. Death Clock, Death Album 4. I actually work in a record store, and that came out when I was in the record store, and I was like, oh, we're just gonna get copies of this coming in all the time. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. And then they just disappeared. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know if they only pressed a certain amount and then they're like, yeah, forget about it. I don't know what the hell's going on, because the first 3 you can get pretty easily, the first 3 Death Clock albums. And then the Death Album 4 is the newest one, and I can't fucking find it anywhere. I mean, same thing. You go on Discogs, it's like $50 a CD and probably even more for vinyl. And I'm like, I am legitimately so confused. It's not even it's a album that's not even 2 years old at this point, and you can't find a fucking copy of that thing anywhere. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But yeah, Death Album 4 definitely needs a reissue, especially on CD. I know at least 3 people that want it, including me. Moving on, this is kind of a big one, and this is a Malevolent Creation, 10 Commandments, and Retribution. These 2 albums, everybody knows that these are great death metal albums. I mean, everybody wants these in some sort of way, and I swear to God, they've only been issued out when they first came out. I see like sometimes, there's sometimes they get reissued, and they're always in like Europe or Brazil, and it's usually on vinyl. Alright, as I was editing this video, I realized, yes, there has been a vinyl reissue for Malevolent Creation. I remember seeing it at the store I work at. I want a CD one. That's the main problem. I want a CD one. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. The CDs are impossible to find. If you can find a CD, it's $50. But yeah, I would really like, specifically for Malevolent Creation, these first 2 albums. They desperately need a US release, or just an overall reissue. They really do. I mean, everybody and their fucking mother loves these first 2 records, and it's like, just fucking reissue these goddamn things. I can't tell you how many times somebody's just like, God damn, I wish I had this. And I'm in the same boat, you know. I'm just like, Ten Commandments and Retribution still doesn't have a reissue after all these years. What the fuck are we doing? Moving on, kind of moving away from the metal a little bit. As you guys know, I'm a pretty massive Marilyn Manson fan, and his entire discography needs to be reissued. The whole thing. The only time he's ever done vinyl is when the album first comes out. I think the only other reissue he did was like maybe Portrait. I think he did in 2009. I think Antichrist might have had a limited reissue in like 2013 on vinyl. But even the new shit you can't find anywhere. You know, like the new album, sure you can get that, but I'm sure once he puts out another album, all the old stuff will just kind of disappear into obscurity or be hard to find still. So yeah, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty certain that's an Interscope thing because he was on that label for many years, and then dropped them, and or they dropped him, I don't know, and they just haven't really done anything about it. It's kind of weird. I know at one point he wanted to do an Antichrist Superstar box set, but said that Trent Reznor lost the masters to Antichrist, which Trent Reznor said was not true. So I don't know if they need to be, remastered for vinyl. I'm sure they don't want to just take it from a CD rip. That would be ridiculous. But I'm almost certain that's a copyright thing with Interscope, and it needs to just be taken care of. I mean, they're still on CD. You know, you can get all those Interscope albums on CD, brand new. For whatever reason, they just haven't done vinyl reissues of any of those, so that desperately needs to be done. Moving on, King Diamond Spider's Lullaby, kind of a weird one. This is more of a personal thing. Uh, King Diamond did all of those reissues in 2020 for all the Merciful Fate stuff, the first five like King Diamond albums and some live stuff. And then like last year, he did that again, or Metal Blade did that again, where they had, what was it? Graveyard on to Give Me Your Soul. They reissued on 2 LP vinyl with a poster and all that. I got a House of God, Voodoo, Graveyard copy, but they just didn't do the Spider's Lullaby in either of those reissues. I know that they're probably going to put it out again, but the fact that they didn't include it in either of those reissues is so fucking weird to me. I can't really find a vinyl copy of Spider's Lullaby. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure I've come across it in the past, but I don't know. I just thought that was really weird, and I feel like Spider's Lullaby needs that treatment too. 2 LPs or whatever, even 1 LP. Just reissue that damn thing. Why not? This is another Metal Blade one that's kind of weird. I can't find those last 2 Cannibal Corpse live albums. What were they called? I'm sorry, I'm like looking it up right now. It's like Eviscerating and Torturing Live and like Global Evisceration, I think are the names of them. Yeah, I'm like, why aren't these available anywhere? Torturing and Eviscerating, yeah. I'm like, why aren't these available anywhere? I can't freaking find them. I guess I could try to buy it used off of Discogs or something, but I just think it's really bizarre that they never had like a proper CD release, proper vinyl release other than when it came out. But yeah, I would really like both of those physically. I think Cannibal Corpse makes great live albums. So I would really like to see both of those get put out at some point. I would really enjoy that. So yeah, I don't know. Same thing. It's just like you guys have it. That band is still on your label. What's the holdup? I don't know. But yeah, Cannibal Corpse, Eviscerating and Torturing Live, and Global Evisceration. This one's another weird one. Skinless, Foreshadowing Our Demise. Pretty sure they can put that out. I'm not quite sure because every other Skinless album is being put out by fucking Corpse Gristle, basically. There's a bunch of, they did Trample the Weak, Hurdle the Dead. They did fucking Regression Towards Evil, CD and vinyl, both of them. They did the demo compilation. They've done all this stuff with Corpse Gristle, and I'm like, okay, where's Foreshadowing Our Demise? I mean, that one has The Optimist on it, which is arguably their biggest song. So I don't know what's going on with that. I guess I could do some more research on why, but it doesn't really matter. It's just like I just want a copy of that thing. And like I said, it's a pretty big album for them, so I don't understand what the fuck the deal is with that. This one is definitely obscure. Broke his helm. Definitely needs some reissues going on. I don't really know their story too much. with really anything, to be honest. Got into them through the Brutal Legend soundtrack, as I'm sure many of you guys have. But I mean, fucking Defenders of the Crown is a great album. Black Death is cool. I mean, all these are great, you know. And I would just like a copy of those. I don't know. I feel like that maybe they were too small. I don't know what label they were on. Oh, that answers that. Self-released. I'm looking this up now as I'm recording this goddamn video. And yeah, I would really like to have a copy of these. And yeah, same thing, you know, you go on Discogs, it's about 28 bucks or so. Which is fine, I guess. If I like have to do it, I'll have to do it, but it's just like, let's put these things out. And then I'm looking at it and they're like, well, I had a European, you know, release on vinyl. It's like, I want a fucking US CD release, god damn it. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, I don't know. Broke His Home would really like all of their albums reissued, to be honest. I just need all of those. This one's kind of weird. I'm sure both of these will have reissues. But I thought I would point them out. And that's Ozzy's Ultimate Sin and Osmosis records. They need to be repressed on vinyl. I know they came on the See You on the Other Side box set. I have a copy, an original copy of Ultimate Sin on vinyl. That one seems to be a little bit easier to come across. Um, but yeah, for whatever reason, Osmosis I never really see on vinyl unless it's in that box set. Um, and yeah, I think those could use a reissue for sure. I mean, Scream got reissued pretty recently. No More Tears a few years back. Black Rain also. Um, I mean, if they don't have the rights to those, which I highly doubt, they could probably easily buy them, you know, and just put out those two records on vinyl. I think it'd be great. Ultimate Sin and Osmosis. They could definitely use a vinyl repress. That would be great. All right, and for the last one, Dawn of Possession by Immolation. Kind of the same thing that I've been seeing, where it's like they do get reissued, but they tend to be in other countries. I'm looking at Discogs right now: Europe, Brazil, Russia, France. It's just like, yeah, that's cool, but I would really like a fucking CD version of that. I think there was a limited run or something. I don't know. I think I saw a CD on Hell's Headbangers and it sold out like that. So this album could definitely be reissued. Put that in stores. I mean, this is the same thing with Malevolent Creation. Universally acclaimed death metal record. Everybody needs a copy of this. Everybody wants a copy of fucking Dawn of Possession. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that, but we could definitely use some fucking CD copies of that. So anyway, those are just a few albums I thought should be reissued. Those ones are in particular I'm really looking for, I really want, and I guess I don't understand what's taken some of them so long. I guess, like I said, you know, some of it's just like you lost the masters, record label problem, copyright, whatever it is. So I get it. But you know, I'm just putting it out there. I want these on CD at some point, and it probably will in my lifetime. But I don't know. Sooner than later would be great. Anyway, so yeah, let me know what you guys thought of my list. Let me know in the comments if there's any albums you want to see reissued, or put back out there. You know, out in the world, out in common rotation at the record stores and stuff. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you want to see out there. If you agree with any of my picks, so on and so forth. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.